Okay, great. So we've got our MS1 running. Now switch back to your WLST shell, and now we're going to deploy an application using the deploy command. So in the deployment lab, we used WebLogic.deployer and the admin console to deploy. WebLogic or WLST also supports a deploy command. And we can do help on that, and then you can get, by the way, this is a very long, there's a lot of parameters here for deploying an application. Okay, I'm not going to get into each and every one of these. You're more than welcome to read all of these, but you basically specify the name of the application, the source of the application files, whether it's an archive or a deployment directory, and then where you want it deployed to. That's essentially the bare minimum that you need to specify. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so I've already got this command typed out in my editor. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it into my window. And so according to the lab guide, the application that we are deploying is that main web app that we've been using throughout the lab. And so when we deploy, the name of our app is just going to be main web app. And we can name it whatever we want. It's purely a cosmetic name. It has no effect on how the application is accessed. But it does have effect whether or not you're going to be doing an in-place upgrade of this application. So you want to keep the name consistent. And then there's the path, which is the fully qualified path to the exploded archive directory. And then targets. And this is a common delimited list of targets, which can either be servers or clusters. And this block equals true statement basically tells WLST whether to block or to return upon issuing the deploy command. So if block were set to false, I would execute this deploy command, and the command would return immediately, and deploy would return a process object. So right now, I'm not assigning a variable to the deploy command. If I did, however, that variable would be this progress object that I could monitor. If I were running this in a script, I could monitor this object by invoking commands on it. However, in this case, when I set block equals to true, deploy will not return until the application is deployed. So I prefer to do it that way. That way I don't go off and perform other commands that are dependent upon the application being there. So let's go ahead and issue this command. Hit enter. Okay. And so you can see that as soon as the application was deployed by WLST, it launched that browser pop-up with the main application in it, like we've always seen. So that worked. So it looks like the application was deployed and now it's up and running. Okay, so fantastic. So go ahead and minimize your browser. And if your browser didn't open up, launch your browser and go to that URL. Go to the URL for that application.